We are back with a recap of the Blue Jackets taking it to the Jets in Winnipeg by the final score of 4-1. And the score was that's how the game was lopsided that way. Sometimes you see a 4-1 score and it's like, well, maybe it was 2-1 for most of the game and they got a couple empty net goals. No, this was essentially a rout by the Blue Jackets, kind of an unexpected one, especially with the way both of these two teams were playing heading into this game. Thursday, the day before the game happened, Elvis Merzlikins and Laine were taken off of injured reserve, but Matthew Olivier still seemed to be sick with dealing with that illness. He was out of the lineup. So Merzlikins and Laine coming back. Although even with Elvis Merzlikins coming off of IR, it was Korpisalo getting the start in net. He has been great to start the season for the Blue Jackets. And with both Korpi and Elvis healthy, that means Daniil Tarasov has been assigned to the Cleveland Monsters. He will be called back up if any one of those guys gets hurt again. And for the Jets, it was Big Save Dave in net for the Jets. Maybe had something to do a little bit with the score, but I do feel like a lot of the Jackets' goals were off of quality chances in general. The first period shifted into the Blue Jackets' favor, perhaps a product of the 3 days of rest that the Blue Jackets have gotten between their last game. They got Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday off, so maybe having 3 off days between games, not something you get a lot in the NHL season. Maybe that has something to do with the fact of how the Blue Jackets came out seemingly ready to play. Later in the first period, Laine getting a goal off of a really nice pass from Johnny Gaudreau. That is his first goal against his former team in his former home arena, so that was probably a nice feeling for him. Later on in the first period, Erik Gudbranson getting his first goal as a member of the Blue Jackets. He just kind of throws it in front of the net, takes a couple of bounces, apparently not off of any other Blue Jacket, and it goes in. I will say, as of late, Erik Gudbranson, I think he has stepped his play up as far as, once the defensive core got absolutely destroyed by injuries. I do feel like Erik Gudbranson has stepped up a little bit. I will never like the contract that he's gotten. I think that it's still a bad signing, especially, well, not a bad signing in general, but the term and the cap hit is too high. However, if he continues to play at this level, it's something that I'll look at and I'll say, okay, fine. I guess if you had to sign it like that, then sure, I suppose. Again, I'll never like the contract, but it is, my feeling on it right now, the way he's playing is, okay, fine, I guess. And that goal was Gudbranson's 100th NHL point, so that is a milestone for him in a Blue Jacket sweater. That's nice to see him get. And then Korpi and the penalty kill holding up very nicely after the first period to have the score 2-0 in favor of the Blue Jackets after 1. The second period would also start off well for the Blue Jackets as Laine would get his second goal off of another really good pass, this time from Boone Jenner. Gaudreau getting the secondary assist there. He would have 3 before the game would end. And again, Laine scoring those 2 goals off of really nice plays, getting prime chances in front of the net. Those were Laine's only 2 shots on goal, but if he makes them counts and he gets them in, then I'm sure there won't be too many complaints about the lack of shots for Patrik Laine. Korpi and the Blue Jackets holding off Winnipeg pressure after that goal, including a near 3-minute offensive zone shift from the Jets. Korpisalo, again, he did have to make some really solid saves in order to keep Winnipeg from getting back into this one. And then a great tic-tac goal from Gavrikov to Johnny Gaudreau to Gus Nyquist to make it 4-0 in the second period. And then Korpisalo still making some brilliant saves. Winnipeg, they didn't stop trying. They were still trying to get chances and get goals in. Korpisalo was just solid when he had to be. And I thought the Blue Jacket structure was decent as well. The second period ending 4-0. Third period was pretty much a formality, although Pierre-Luc Dubois did manage to score in the third period to end the shutout chance, and I believe that is PLD's first goal against the Blue Jackets and his former team. So, Boo, he's he got like a French cartoonish supervillain. He did seem to be willing to play into the role of the heel a little bit when PLD came back to Nationwide last year, so we'll see if that happens again. If he does happen to score, how will he react? That might be something that may be interesting to keep an eye on, but me personally, I hope PLD doesn't score again against the Blue Jackets in order to find that out. And the Blue Jackets were trying to get Patrik Laine a hat trick, again, back in Winnipeg when the Jets had their net emptied. No dice, and the Blue Jackets struggling with the empty net in general. They weren't able to capitalize on the goal there, but it wasn't a huge deal in this game. Final score being 4-1. It was pretty much over. It just would have been nice to see that score go up even higher. It would have been more for aesthetic purposes. Laine being pretty good in both of his homecomings this season. In the first game in Finland, he had 2 goals, and his first game back here, well, it wasn't not his first game back overall, but his first game back this season. I think that's his second in Winnipeg, so it's probably still a little bit fresh to play in Winnipeg on the other side of it. He had 2 goals in this game as well. Korpi's continuing to play very good for the Blue Jackets. He's been tremendous given the circumstances and the defense that he's been put in front of. Could he be trade bait? Maybe at the trade deadline. I feel like that's something that the Blue Jackets are still... That's still far enough away in the season. The Blue Jackets have a little bit of time to gather their thoughts, but... Korpi does have a 1-year contract. He's making a lot less money than he did last year, making his contract very much more tradable. So maybe that's something they kick a can around, and maybe they try to get some assets for him, because the way they're structuring their contract with their goalies, they seem to be kind of locked in with Elvis and Tarasov moving forward. So maybe you feel like if you can get something for Korpisalo at the trade deadline coming up, then you make that trade instead of losing him in the offseason to another team anyway and getting nothing out of it. So thank you all for watching. If you made it this far into the video, that's going to be pretty much it for this recap. Let me know if you have something to say down in the comments below, and I will see you at the next one.